So the first question is really just looking at family of origin, and this is going to be for both you guys. What was it like in the culture in your home when it came to sex and sexuality, and how do you feel like that informed where you're at, or really what brought you to the big struggles?
Yeah, I can start on that one. We didn't talk about sex and sexuality. I'm one of 6 kids, so I'm 5th.
I did not realize
I
that.
know.
What
People
number
peg
are
me
you?
as an only, but which I take offense to personally.
Sure. Where are you in the order?
I'm the 5th. Yeah. So my mom was pretty checked out. She was working nights, and so she just had nothing left. I think just chemically imbalanced. And so now she's a completely different person. I mean, she's the best grandma ever. But she wasn't really present mentally for my upbringing. So that was part of it. But also, we just didn't really talk about sex and sexuality. She has this story, my mom does, of us on a walk, me and her. She says I was 9, but she kind of itched her pants. And I said, Mom, don't itch your penis in public. And she had to explain to me at 9 years old.
Wow. Yeah.
Some human anatomy there.
So that was a thing. And then when I was, I went to a private Christian school. So we had like the talk at school and all the dads came in. It was a really cool thing. But my dad did not want to have the talk with me and basically just refused. Like I would always ask him like, Dad, everybody's getting the talk. What is the talk? What are we talking about? And, just dodge. And when I started to get into pornography on the home computer, and we'll get into this, I'm sure, in other questions, but, my mom found out that, I've got viruses on the computer, what's going on, figured out it was me. And my mom is kind of facilitating the whole thing, and she wants my dad to have the conversation with me. And so he sits me down on my bed in my room, and we're sitting there, and it felt like I didn't even understand what he was talking about. He wasn't making any sense. I wasn't in trouble, which was really weird because I knew what I was doing was wrong. And it was just this weird experience. And so that was kind of my family of origin. We didn't really talk about it. There wasn't a ton of shame around it. It just wasn't a conversation. And I learned most of the stuff from youth group.
Yeah, totally.
In a positive way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then for me, my parents divorced when I was 5. And so, both my folks, though, were believers. And so I was raised knowing that, knowing biblical truth, I suppose. And both my parents had wholesome values. And I would say, like, as far as sexuality in the home, like, I learned a lot from shows and TV, and then piqued a lot of curiosity at a young age. And I think just being set up with the divorce at a young age, around 5, it really geared me to be more susceptible towards fascination. I didn't know it until maybe way later in life, like fantasy, like I remember staying home from school and seeing soap operas and things like that would just give me like, just curiosity. And so, just having that void of what I was going through with my folks, not realizing that was setting me up to be I would say a love addict, like now that I know the terminology through Pure Desire, but just more fascinated towards that. But as far as like the culture in the home, I would say I just always knew there was shame around it. So that's how it felt. It felt like if my parents knew that I was like watching this or seeing it, it always felt like no, that's naughty and stuff, but it was not really talked about as to why or it felt just shameful. So it wasn't an easy thing. And even still, it's just awkward to navigate. Like, like the fact that I have sex with my husband feels a little bit awkward. I don't know. Maybe everybody feels that way.
I mean, not in the moment. In the moment, she doesn't feel that way at all.
Thank you for clarifying. Good Lord.
Know what I mean? No, that's just hard to shake off when you're raised in that culture. Like then you get
that's
married
a real thing.
and it's
absolutely very
totally.
real thing.
It's amazing how much that is, I think, everyone's story. And maybe not every single person, but to some degree, we did not grow up in environments that knew how to talk about sexuality in a normalized way. And then we get into marriage and it's just like, well, good luck, figure it out, you know, and I think everybody hopes that it's going well, but even then no one knows how to talk about it. And then we raise kids and we create the same awkward conversations unless we've been brought to places where we deal with it. And